Guys, welcome to another episode of the Painfully Human podcast. I'm super excited because a while back I had my first ever wedding, hosting it, and it was something that I didn't feel as equipped with. And so I tried to talk to someone, and thankfully they coached me a little bit. They gave me some direction, and the success came not from me but from them enjoying, the people at the wedding enjoying. And from that conversation, I now get to sit with someone that I admire, and I admire the passion. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have Ari Neeman on the Painfully Human podcast. Hey brother.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, Nick.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I don't.
That wedding, it went well.
It went well.
Yeah.
I made that's. I didn't tell you this, but this wedding, shout out Bads and Ivy. I'm
Hey.
very happy that they felt happy.
That's what matters.
And what came from there, and I never told you this. I've actually never told the team this as well, is that was the wedding that I think I discovered my flavor when I host, or even just in general when I talk in front of people, whether it be a small group of people or a big one, and. I that was the wedding I think I fully sorry, that was not the wedding, that was the event that I fully embraced my awkwardness as a human being, and I think I let that turn into my flavor, my style of humor, where these guys will know it, especially hi team, but they know that I make a lot of awkward jokes that I laugh at when no one else laughs
Yes,
at.
yes.
And so I've noticed that humor hits well with a lot of adults
Yes.
and then a lot of kids. Some of the teenagers and the
Yeah,
like it's
yeah.
like whatever, they're still getting used to their awkwardness.
Yeah.
But that hit well with me. So I just want to thank you because you put aside time to walk me through it.
Yeah.
Um, and you put aside time to kind of speak into me as well. And I said it on camera, I said it off camera, but one of the things I love most about talking to you is that I can tell you're an artist with what you do. If I hope I can remember the quote, but the Marco Pierre White, amazing chef, said, "If you work with your hands, you're a craftsman. If you work with your oh no, sorry. If you work with your hands, you're a laborer. If you work with your hands and your mind, you're a craftsman. If you work with your mind, your hands, and your heart, you're an artist." And so that's one thing I truly admire. And
That's a
I've
good
realized
one.
I've given you no time to speak. So say hi to everyone.
No,
as
no,
well.
no, no, no. I
But,
appreciate it.
yeah.
No, and what you got there was probably a step towards finding who you are and your voice, and you really do find who you are when you have, I would say, I mean, it's just nice when with a wedding kasi. It's such a pure it's the most, I mean, we're painfully human podcast, right? A wedding is one of the most human celebrations you'll ever get, where you feel one of the most raw emotions from people.
Right.
Like you will feel it because there's so many transitions happening. A father is giving away his daughter. A mother is seeing their baby boy grow up. I mean, you gotta let go of your kids. I mean, you're celebrating milestones of your friendship. You're seeing your friend. Oh, you guys made it. You chose the love of your life. Like those are beautiful emotions.
Right.
And a wedding, kasi, if you don't align to that, I mean, it's like not aligning to the most human parts of you, right? And it's very easy, and that's why with hosts, I think it's a huge responsibility that if you make it about you, and it's very easy to make it about you because
Yes.
you're takot ka, you're just in front of like, hala, I have to do well, oh my God.
Yeah.
But if you do that with a wedding, I think it's just, parang, man, like, you could be so human. You could be if you just aligned yourself in truly wanting to take care of this in front of you. And William Defoe said, like, the best works come in acts of service. I never forget that. He said, the best works come in acts of service.
Yeah.
When it's not even about me. It's like what's in front of me and what I want to.
Right.
And that always stuck with me. I was just like, and well, I don't sit down with a lot of people, actually. A lot of people
You
ask
told me that. I was very honored when you said
Yeah,
that.
I was just like, I don't. No, because I just want to see if they have the heart. You need to have the heart for it. Because if I'm sitting down and you don't have the heart for this, then it's going to take, I'm not saying you won't have the heart. It's just like you're just not in a place in your journey in life where you're going to discover the heart, or I hope you do. But if you don't, then, I mean, no judgment. But if you have the heart for it, then you can take care of a wedding.
Right.
Like, that's why I always say, like, I'd rather have someone who's sincere than speaks well. Like, I'd rather have someone who's sincere and speaks well. Because sincerity, like, even if you buckle, man,
Yeah.
my favorite my favorite speeches are from introverts.
Nice.
Because introverts kasi, like, rarely say. But when they say, it comes from the depths of their soul. But when they choose, because someone who speaks well can perform a good speech.
Yes.
Someone who knows how to talk. I mean, let's say artists, performers, influencers, creators, artistas, they know how to say it right. But when you have an introvert who barely will speak, meaning it will mean something when they say something, you can hear. Like, I just posted something about an introvert groom who wanted to honor his parents. He said, this comes from an introvert groom who eats plain pancit canton. I just want to say it because it's like, plain? Calamansi? No, plain. I'm like, weird. Iba ka. So he said, I'm sorry that I always complain about the small things because I never had anything big to complain about. I loved coming home. I swear I had the best life with you guys.
Beautiful.
Says that to his parents on his wedding. That's someone who doesn't know because he's speaking from his heart. He's really saying something that... And when you say something from your heart, you really don't need to think about it. Because you're just putting into words what's already there. That's what I always tell couples. You don't have to think. I don't want you to fall into a place where you are in front of people and you get intimidated by the moment or you get scared by the moment that you don't get to speak how you truly wanted to speak with the people in front of you. This is your mom. This is your dad.
Yes.
Mga mahal mo to sa buhay. These are not strangers.
Right.
And yes, it's normal to feel intimidated and uncomfortable in front of these people.
Right.
But if that gets you to not say it the way you're meant to say it, meaning inisip mo yung sinabi mo kesa sasabihin mo talaga how it's meant to be said. Because now you're like, fear, I don't want to look stupid. I don't want to, I'll say it this way. You say it how you think it sounds versus how it's meant to feel and how it's meant to be said. And that's when I feel na parang sayang naman because these are not strangers. You just need to look at the person and put into words what's already there. And that's why I take it upon myself to have that meeting with couples na parang, listen, you're both uncomfortable. I know, but what I don't want for you is you shrink to the moment and you don't get to say what's really in your heart to the people who matter the most because these emotions will only pass through you once. So honor it and say it the way it's meant to be said.
And I love that. I think that's the reason, and I need to bring it up, that the Philippine Daily Inquirer said that you are a natural born host. And I do believe that you are the best host for weddings especially. And I've seen that through your content, but I don't think I've had the honor of walking with a lot of hosts. And I hear their passion for their lane. You know what I mean? I've heard Robbie talk about how passionate it is about, you know, different, like the reality shows, the PBBs, the competitions. Kuya Luis with the game shows as well, and
hilarious.
creating moments through those.
Luis is funny.
But then, I'm sure you've experienced it as well. People, I call them the voice modulators. You know what I mean?
The voice modulators. Good evening, welcome.
Exactly.
Here they
Where it's
come.
like you're, I guess, in simpler ways, the performers. And part of it is probably out of maybe it's an ignorance of like you think this is the way it's supposed to be done.
Yes.
So I can't judge you because you're doing what you think is right.
But do you know why they modulate? Do you know the main reason? Fear. That's the main reason. They're putting out a version of themselves they think is appropriate. That's it. Because it's really scary to show who you are. Because then it's vulnerability. Like, that's the main thing. Like, I think that's really the main thing. Because you're in front of people.
Yeah.
You're like that's a very human thing to be in front. So you're like, good evening. Like, I'm like, but how do you sound at the dinner table?
Yes.
How do you talk to your mother? That's how you should talk to people. But fear is going to get you that. And pair that with insecurities. Pair that with pain. Pair that with trauma. Pair that with a belief that maybe was instilled when you were younger. Pair that with the fear of being in front of people, which is one of the most human and most strongest fears. Then you can understand how people can live their life with putting out versions of themselves when in front of people. But it takes self-awareness to kind of find it and to just say, you know what, maybe who I am is. That's why when you said the awkward, I'm like, that's a step towards. That's the opposite of fear. That's acceptance of yourself and saying, maybe who I am is okay. You know what I mean? It's not just like I don't have to put out the version of myself to connect with people. If anything, you don't connect with a version of person self because that's not real. You connect with a flawed, imperfect human who's just trying to express who they are.
And that's the point of this show. So thanks for saying that, Ari. But I'm curious of your journey with that because the phrase is corny, but it takes one to know one. When you've walked the journey, you can spot it in other people.
Yes.
And I remember the first time we talked. We've actually only talked twice, if you think about it.
Yes.
We've only talked in person twice, and I love it. I really, really do. But you talked about your journey with hosting esports, and I'm just curious. People are watching. Some people will know you. Some people will not know your journey.
Yeah.
And my question to you, wrapped up in all that we've been talking about, is what was your journey in a nutshell of figuring out
who I am?
Yeah, who you are. But I'm also willing to bet that there were times that you judged yourself, or you were like, I don't like, you know what I mean?
Oh, if you met me when you first met me, I was probably one of the most shallow people you'd meet. Yeah, because I've been in showbiz for like more than 10 years. It's not unfortunate. It's what made me who I am. I grew up in an environment where where achievement, success, and the superficial things is probably what mattered and what probably would get noticed. And if you grow up like that, then you'll chase the same shiny things that you think was gonna get you love and all of those things, right? So when you met me, if you met me like, that's why I see you now. I'm just like, oh, Edward's okay. Like, he's like, how old are you? You're 23, 22? 25, okay. So you've been in showbiz, and it was like, oh, look at you. Like, because I remember being my age, at your age. Oh, I was just like, I'm like, I don't get I don't get this depth. And that's what you want to see with the next generation. You learn from us. You learn from what happened. And people say that Gen Z is like sensitive and all of those things. No, these are people who are discovering their boundaries and who are knowing what went wrong and how things went. They're fighting for themselves. Obviously, there are parang extremes to that where you become, let's say, you use your pain or your trauma to use it as a victim. And then
excuse.
there's always, everything has that. There's always an extreme version of, that. But...
Sorry, in saying that, do you feel like I don't want to say older generation, but let's say the ones that we're learning from, do you feel like there's a degree of them not... you can't generalize, but like them not learning those boundaries?
I would say every generation will go through a very specific set of problems depending on where the world is. I would say Gen Z is going through a very particular set of problems that millennials and boomers and everyone have no idea. You're talking about how to handle something in a world that no longer exists. The world existed for you when you were that age. This world is not the same, and you have to recognize that. Social media in itself, brain rot, that is already something that screens, like going against cognitive, cognitive decline. Like, we never got through that. We were outside biking, eating mud, parang mga katangahan. We were doing things, and that grounded us in the real moment.
Right.
Like, where have you ever seen a generation with putting so many challenges that get them so far away from the present moment? Like, where? But they're trying. They're trying to learn from the past generation. They're setting boundaries. They're understanding what patterns of emotional trauma and unhealthy ways of being have caused, and they're trying to find their way in a world that's so hard to be present. Come on.
Yeah.
Like, and you're saying they're weak? Shut up. Like, shut up. You have no idea what the current generation are going through. The same way they had no idea what we went through.
Right.
But they're a unique set of things, and you have to recognize that. You can't just say that your way works in a world that no longer exists. You have to recognize the current world.
I want to let that sink in. Sorry, because there's and it's so.
My point there was, sorry, just to cut you off.
Yeah.
I was happy to see where you were at your age in showbiz, because I've been through showbiz.
Right.
And when I see someone, I'm like, oh, look. And that's it. That's what the generation's supposed to do. They're supposed to learn. So when you have already that depth in you and you're already questioning the industry, I question the industry, not at your age. But my journey was...
Yes, I want to get back to that. Yeah.
My journey, everything I was doing was not for myself. Up until I met my girlfriend and now my wife. She was my first choice for myself. Meaning my first step towards deciding who I wanted to be. My wife. Because when I met her, that was the first person who probably... that gets me emotional, huh? Probably gets me... the first person who recognized me. Like the first person who saw me for who I was. And accepted me. And just like I never sensed her wanting to change me. I always... She always met me where I was. And I was the person that didn't know how to take care of that. And I was in show business. I was shallow. I had all these walls. I was someone who will not take care of relationships. I was not that person. Like if you met me, went through porn addiction, went through all of those things, all of those unhealthy things. Didn't know, was afraid to open up, had vulnerability issues. But I had a choice. And I looked. That's why weddings are so special. Because it means that decision for me. I'm like, maybe if I'm around weddings, I'll probably turn into the person that can take care of what I have. And the thing there is, if I stayed in showbiz...
It's
okay.
all good.
It's okay.
Your chance was coming in.
It's okay.
Beautiful moment.
No, it's okay. It's better that we recognize this than we try to have it.
I hear you.
It's okay. So, if I stayed in showbiz, and you know showbiz, and I'm sure a lot of people here direct knows showbiz, it's not... I mean, it is what it is, right?
It's not everything.
And if you're superficial already, and you're already in a superficial industry, I'm not saying everyone in showbiz is superficial, but I'm saying that it doesn't nurture the things you need to be able to take care of relationships, at least for me, huh? Like the person I was. The environment it didn't give me a high success rate.
Right.
I'm not saying people in showbiz are shallow and all of those things, but I mean, there are wonderful people and you've interviewed wonderful people in show business. But the industry, I mean, is also very superficial, very surface level. There is some depth in it, but at the end of the day, it's a business, right? And it's hard to turn into the type of person I needed to be for my wife, to take care of her. So my wife was whatever I am now, it's because of deciding to try my best to be the kind of man that can keep my wife. And that was it is the single most proudest, biggest achievement of my life. Nothing compares. I say that in Speakers Con. I'm like, I've done this. I've hosted in the gigantic stages. I've hosted internationally. I've been able to reach a good amount of success. Yeah. Nothing will ever compare to the success of being able to keep my wife and have my family with her.
And I feel like that gives you just from hearing you speak, it's a different level of confidence. We were talking about confidence, maybe confidence is not the word, more security.
Groundedness. It's being grounded.
Right.
Yeah.
And again, and I want to speak into this because a lot of people watching, I think it's safe to say in this generation there's such an identity crisis. And we were talking about this off camera beforehand about how it's so easy to when you have something very beautiful and very vulnerable, even the way you edit it, if you were to put it out as content, you have to take care of that story.
You have to take care of it.
And that gave me the thought of, oh man, it's so easy to do the opposite of take something so shallow or maybe even ugly, and make it palatable enough, okay enough, beautiful enough,
and you can make it, and you can make it anything.
And you make it anything
with all the tools. that we have now. You can make it anything.
Yeah. And so even in that, it's like, okay, creating an identity. And so it's like the people I admire most are the people who are the same in front of the camera and behind. And so even in that journey of figuring out who you are is such a huge and almost lifelong journey in a way.
Yes, absolutely.
So what were things that you went through, tips as well on, I mean, sorry,
Facing it.
You see the question. There's a video I watched, and they said, I think embarrassment is an underexplored emotion.
Yes.
So, and it's probably the one that teaches you so much.
Yes.
I don't have a question, but maybe speak into that a
Oh,
little
okay.
bit, or anything that comes to
So correct me
mind.
if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
It's so easy to put out versions of you in this generation.
Yeah.
And it's a lot harder to try now because everyone's watching, I would say, right? Meaning, like, I just want to try. Like, I was watching this video where no one dances anymore because you're going to get videoed. So everyone's they're afraid because they're going to meme me out. Like,
Yeah.
what generation goes through that, right?
True.
So I would say for, the Gen Z has an opportunity because of the challenges that they have to be able to be any version of themselves through technology, to really reach a level of depth that I would say other generations won't get a chance to reach, because amidst the shallowness, amidst the filters, and amidst all the opportunities to be versions of yourself, if you choose to be who you are in that world, you would reach, I would say, a deeper form of self because you've gone through the challenges. I still choose to be who I am despite this environment. And I think you build character when you're tested that way, right? I mean, character is not built through ease.
Yes.
And you all have an opportunity to really, because you're going through it as young souls. You're going through it as not even knowing who you guys are yet. But if you choose truly who you are despite the environment, you acquire a degree of toughness
Right.
that's not really forged, in a place that doesn't give you those set of challenges.
Yeah.
So I would say Gen Z actually has a has their own opportunity to be even stronger.
Right.
So you just kind of if you do it with all these challenges and all these fears, and you go through it and you fail and you hit all the shame and the insecurities, and you still decide to be who you are in this world, you're solid.
Great. I want to talk about there's something recently that we were talking about just with friends and some of the people that I love walking through life with, talking about the crucible. And for those who don't know or are familiar with the word, it's for the blacksmiths, they would heat up the ore with different special gold, special materials, minerals. And they would heat it up in this container to a high level. And it was intense heat, intense pressure.
Yes.
But it purifies what's inside. And almost from hearing what you're saying, it's like there's a crucible wherever you go in life, in this generation. And it's either, from what I'm hearing and from what I'm understanding as well, it's almost there's an opportunity for bravery like no other time.
Yes. You guys are going through a crucible. Look at you guys. Like, you're going through all these things. Like, what generation's going through so much? My God. Like, things were simpler then.
Weird question. Do you worry for your kid?
Yes. Yes. And that's why we're not going to spare him from what he needs to go through. We'll just kind of equip him with what we feel he'll need so that he's solid. And my son has the same opportunity to be strong and to be brave and to be kind. And that's what we want to impart. So he has that opportunity the same way you guys do. And his world is going to be slightly different from the world you guys are going through right now because you're in a different phase in your life. But I do worry about him. But you can only kind of like just impart like my goal with my son is like he's never gonna doubt that he's loved. That was my goal for him. like,
Mm.
because he'll never think that he's not loved. That was my only goal for my son. Like, because when I see him and I'm like, and I've failed with him, and I've apologized to and he's like, he's 9, and I've apologized when he was 5 or 6, because that's what you kind of need to realize when you become a parent, that you're not just raising your child, you're raising your inner child, because things get triggered, and you're just like, man, and it's my son, so he'll remind me of my inner self so much that I'm like, man, if I don't take care of my inner child, how can I raise this one?
Can we talk about that? Because I love the Philippines, and I'm so passionate. I'm British Filipino, but this is my country. This is my nation, and I don't know the British national anthem. I know the Filipino national anthem. You know what I mean? And so, one of the things that is so beautiful about our country is the family structure, how much love there is, how close families are. But there are extremes to anything.
It's
right?
a double-edged sword. Yeah.
Double-edged sword.
Yeah.
So some families, and hopefully this is bring up too many triggers to those watching, but so many families are maybe on the extreme side of, I love you so much, so there's a tendency like, I just don't want to let go, or I love you so much, so I'm gonna keep you, like I'm gonna try and push you towards where you need to be.
Or I love you so much, I'm right. This
Yes,
is what I need
like,
because I love you so much.
Trust me.
Yeah.
I know what's right for you. And so I want to ask you 2 questions in succession. How do you let go? And it's not a one-time decision. Maybe the wedding is the pinnacle of it, and when it's like, I really have to just release my child now.
Yeah.
But I think in any build-up, there's thousands of decisions of letting go here and there, I'm assuming. Yeah. But how do you let go? Or how do you live just knowing that you're going to need to let go?
With son?
With your son. And then number 2, how do you, because
one.
this maybe there are parents watching.
Yeah.
How do you apologize to your child? And why should you do that?
Oh, that's a good question.
So maybe the first one, how do you live in surrender, basically, with your child?
I think I started having maybe a healthier perspective with my son when I realized he is his own person. And he was, I think, 3 years old. I was like, oh, this is a person. This is not my son. This is a person with his own set of identity. Because you're not my property. You're not mine. You're a person. And sabi nga nila, you can't, there's a lovely quote I remember in a conversation, you can't love someone too much. Meaning, because love is selfless. Meaning you're taking time to think about what's best for this person in front of you, and you're not taking any account of yourself.
Right.
When you love someone anchored in fear, meaning, I'm afraid this kid is going to have to go through the things that I went through.
Right.
So you're going to have to do the things I know that got you through it.
Right.
Am I really thinking about my son, or am I thinking about myself? That's it. That's the key in all of their phases.